We'll be going over IRS notice CP32A. So this is a notice that you might receive if the IRS is trying to contact you about a refund check that they're looking to replace. So we'll walk through this. We'll walk through some of the nuances of how this occurs and what your options are. So in the upper right hand corner, I usually start with two things. So in the upper right hand corner, you'll see the notice number, CP32A, the tax period, which is redacted for some reason, the notice date, and this is one that you should pay pretty close attention to. So the notice date, if there is some sort of requested action item, you might have a due date associated with this. I don't think that's the case in this situation because the IRS owes you money. We'll get to what their action item is momentarily. But the rest of the information, social security number, phone number, for some reason, some of these notices on the IRS website are redacted like this. Others are not. So on the left-hand side would be the address of the IRS office that sent this notice, as well as your taxpayer information. So this should be your name and spouse's name, and then address. So the two things I always point out is A, pay particular attention to the tax period or the notice date in case there's something that you need to do within a certain time frame. And then B, make sure that your address is up to date with the IRS. So every time you file your tax return, the IRS should be prompted to update your tax record with any new address. If you're in between tax returns, then you can always call the IRS, validate your information, and then change your address over the phone. Or you can file IRS Form 8822, which is the change of address form, IRS Form 8822-B, which is the business address, change of address form. So always do that. And in this case, here's a perfect situation. If your notice is floating around and it's not coming directly to you, you might not realize that the IRS is trying to get you a refund. So, not all IRS correspondence is bad. This is an example of a notice that most people would probably like to get. But the problem here is that the IRS needs you to call them at their phone number before they can send you a replacement check. So what they're asking you to do is destroy the expired check. And again, most checks only are good for up to a year. After that, banks usually won't accept them as deposits. So you may have to call the IRS, request the replacement check, at which point the IRS will mail you a new check. Now, if your refund is subject to a tax offset, then that might be applied and you might get a check for less. So if your check is less than what this notice says, the number one reason is probably because of what's known as a tax refund offset. So, and then the rest of this basically is additional information. So let's just take a quick look at what the IRS website says. There's a couple of frequently asked questions. There's an 800 number to request a new check. That's the number that was apparently redacted up here for some reason. I'm not sure why it's redacted on that sample form and then clarified here, but 800-829-0922 would be the number that you call to request a refund. And then there's some FAQs. Looks like you should receive your replacement check within 30 days after calling. You can use direct deposit. So your Form 1040 should have a direct deposit information. If you want to deposit into multiple accounts, you can file IRS Form 8888, which is the tax form that allows you to allocate your refund. It's also the one that if you wanted to buy double E savings bonds with part of your tax refund, you can do it on that form as well. And then, some additional, items. Tax refund checks are only mailed to the address of record, which is the address provided on the tax return or the result of a permanent address change request submitted after the tax return is filed. So again, before you call to send the replacement check, you should verify your address of record. And if for some reason your tax record is not correct, you may need to file that IRS Form 8822 to update your tax record before requesting your refund. And then what happens in the case of a joint filing where the spouses have since separated? Again, they will send one refund check, but it will be listed in both spouses' names. So you would have to, you can return that uncashed check as well as a copy of your divorce decree. That would have the IRS split your refund and issue it into two separate checks. So, pretty straightforward, but, there are some nuances that you might need to navigate through. But, first thing, make sure your address is up to date. Second thing, call the 800 number to get that new check going. So, and then, for future instances, you can consider direct deposit to allow the IRS to just drop any future tax refunds straight into your banking account. So that's all we have for this video. We'll put links in the show notes to articles and videos that we've created about some of the forms that were mentioned here. So if you like our articles, please subscribe to our newsletter. If you like our YouTube videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. And as always, if you have any questions or comments, or if there's another topic that you'd like to see covered in an upcoming video, please hit me up in the comments section. Thank you very much and have a great day.